And welcome back to another episode of Bleach Take, episode 2. This time we're doing three movies as
Three.
I, the honored one, and Shmebulok talk about the
Schmebula.
Knives Out trilogy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sirski. Because
Thirsty.
random question start out because I know the first one was in theater, like regular release.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I just watched, and I did not realize that it was that they, or I'd forgotten that it was like COVID time when that happened? Was that like a fully like Netflix release?
I looked that up right now. It said, oh, why won't it tell me what the second one? What the second and third? What are you talking about?
Because the
I'm gonna
third
look.
one was like limited release, but like most just
Yeah.
Netflix, just net dropped on Netflix.
Glass Onion was. It's not telling me.
Hmm.
It says week-long theatrical release ahead of its premiere on Netflix.
Okay.
It is a sneak preview, including AMC, Regal, and Cinemark. So it wasn't like a like you can
Probably
catch it the week before.
similar to
Yeah.
three. Probably
Yeah.
even less, like more limited because I mean, at least I actually didn't even check to see what when it came out, but there was just like a lot of COVID talk in the beginning
hmm
of
hmm
two.
Yeah.
Um, that made me think that it was probably released around 2020, 2021-ish.
hmm
But I guess we'll go start from the from one, two, and then three, or three, two, one.
Yeah. We can go. Let's go one, two, three. We'll talk about them.
All
Yeah, we'll
right.
give a quick synopsis of each one. We'll go through some of the stats about each film. I think it's actually interesting to talk about their budgets and
I feel like
and
I feel like
anyway, stuff like that. Okay.
Glass Onion,
So
I feel like might have gotten the most. I feel like
it
if I had to
says
take a guess,
it
just
says,
based
believe
off
it or
of like,
not, the most was Wake Up Dead Man, but I don't know. That's what it
oh,
claims. Let me look up the first one really quick. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. The first thing I see, Knives Out 3 gets a bonkers $210 million budget twist. Interesting.
I wonder how much of
Anyways,
that's actors because they got some pretty good actors in there. But
yeah, yeah. Um, okay. So we'll talk about the first one. Yeah, speaking of actors, all three of them star Daniel Craig as our main detective, Benoit Blanc, who is I mean, you see him at first as like a goofster, um, but I like to think of it as he gets to the bottom of it. He talks about people telling the truth and
hmm.
getting and finding the truth, letting the truth comes out on its own. You let it out, you can't force it out. That's kind of a theme of the three movies, and I think that relaxed detective style is what makes him interesting, but also what makes him so intelligent. And I think that's highlighted the most in the first film because the first film, our detective pairs up with the alleged killer. So you're almost, being told that the detective's stupid because he doesn't know the killer is right in front of him. Come to find out, he knows exactly what's going on. He's very intelligent. He's always 20 steps ahead, which I think makes him very interesting to follow. So the first movie stars Daniel Craig, stars Ana de Armas is also our main character. And I'd say a couple other honorable mentions. Chris Evans is an important one in there too. Jamie Lee Curtis is in there.
Yep.
Um, fantastic cast. But Ana de Armas, she is the nurse of a very wealthy. If you've never seen it, spoilers, go watch it. These are three. At the end of the day, they're three good films. I think the first one is a masterpiece. I think the third one is it. We'll talk about that. I really love the third one. I don't know which one I think is better, but I do love the first one. Um, so you've got Ana de Armas, the nurse, who works for a very wealthy old mystery writer. He writes mystery books.
Hmm.
And one night she accidentally gives him the wrong dose of medicine. She gives him a lethal dose of morphine, I believe it is, something that'll stop his heart. And he tells her, "We have 10 minutes to make this look like I killed myself because I do not want you, my nurse, to go to jail for an accident." And so they set up they remove all of their evidence. The family is staying in the house that night. His entire family. He's got, I believe, three children and a group of grandchildren, maybe four, three children
Hmm.
and multiple grandchildren. They're all staying in the house that night, and so they make this elaborate scheme to make it look like he kills himself. She escapes through the window. He slits his own throat, and that's that. Um, Next day, or a couple of days later, the will is read to the family, and this old writer has left the entirety of his fortune to the nurse, which is when we get, I mean, the police are already involved. We get this detective involved, and the detective sees the family. They get so angry at this. They're very money hungry. That's a theme of the film. The nurse is very humble, and the detective pairs up with the nurse. Benoit Blanc pairs up with the nurse, saying, I think that I can trust you. So from there, she knows what actually happened. She killed this writer, and she has to trick the detective into thinking she didn't do it, um, which unravels an even bigger mystery that I don't think I mean necessarily need to spoil it. It wasn't her. I can say that. That's the main thing I can say. It was another one of the family members um, who swapped the medicine vials. So she did in fact give the old man the right medicine, meaning he wouldn't have died, meaning he did just kill himself. That's the truth. Um, and yeah, I guess we can say, yeah, the villainous character is played by Chris Evans, who about halfway through the film takes the nurse under his wing, kind of like the detective did. And he says, I've always hated my family, those rich snobs. You and I can work together now. Come to find out, he's just trying to incriminate her. So that's the first film. If it sounds super like confusing, it's because I'm trying to explain something that takes place over 2 hours in 5 minutes. Go watch it yourself. If you like, I know he says a big, what is it? A big inspiration of his is oh, I can't think of her, the best mystery writer of all time. Why can't I think of
Oh,
her?
oh, dude, I almost said Colleen Hoover.
Agatha Christie. Agatha
Agatha
Christie.
Christie.
Yeah,
Colleen Hoover.
and I think she writes. Well, I know Carly
Well,
reads some of
I
her
know
books.
she writes books, but I feel like she writes like romance, right? I think.
I'm not sure. Um, She does. They're like like romance thriller mysteries. Okay, so interesting thing about Knives Out. That's the film. I think it's great. Like I said, if you feel like I didn't do it justice or sounds boring, go watch it yourself. I can't recommend it enough. Interesting is it was not only written, but it was directed by Ryan Johnson. And Ryan Johnson made this film in 2019, coming off the heels of Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is Star Wars Episode 8, which the fan base agrees is one of, if not the worst Star Wars films ever made. So this was really big for Ryan Johnson's career because he was coming out he was coming out of Disney disgraced. And luckily enough, he was given this $40 million budget. That's it. $40 million for the first one, and he really found his calling, and I think that's really cool. He also did a great job of he does include politics in his films, all three of them, but he does a good job of giving you both sides. And you've got like the racist uncle fighting with like the communist aunt, and it kind of just helps you realize all that stuff. Like, regardless of what you believe, you can still enjoy this film. He's punching at everyone. Um, And I think that's really cool. So that's my thoughts on the first one. What are yours? I love it. I'll rate it after we both talk, but
Yeah, I really like the first one. I remember seeing it in the theater with my parents years ago, and what I remember about it is I like the little tidbit of Anna de Armas's character. She cannot lie without vomiting. Remember that?
ooh, that's good.
And I liked that that's just like a little like it's a little like not trope. Trope's not the right word. I mean, kind of like a plot device that they use to um kind of give you a little bit of like expectations about like what she's saying is the truth, this and that. Um, and also her way of going around it, giving like half truths, half
Mm,
right when she's trying to like hide that she, at least in her mind, what she thinks is the truth.
mm-hmm.
Um, how she killed the um book writer. Um, and I also liked that they basically that she gave the right bottle, um, not because she basically because she's such a good nurse or like good take care taker that she didn't even need to read the labels. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like she just knew,
Hmm.
right? And that's why he yeah, right, because that's why they thought she gave the wrong one is because she gave the right one when it would have actually been like opposite. If she had read the labels, she would have given the wrong one.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I know I didn't get that. I did not see that coming. I was completely lost watching the film. But even though it all made sense, like when it unraveled, which I think is like really good. I think if you were to watch the movie, I know like my parents were able to when I was watching it with them, they deduced within the first like few minutes that he didn't actually give was given the wrong one.
Hmm.
But even then, I don't think that who did it was ever
Hmm.
obvious,
Hmm.
right? Like once it was unraveled, it made complete sense.
Hmm.
I loved it though. I thought the acting was really good. Chris Evans was a lot of fun. I feel like he kind of like turned back the clock a little bit in terms of almost playing oh my gosh, Flame guy from Fantastic Four,
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm. He was kind of I feel like given a little bit of that in his
Hmm.
performance
Hmm.
versus like the Captain America performance. It was like
Hmm.
everything's right. Um but yeah, no, I thought it was a great film, honestly.
Hmm.
I think I think it it's one of the better overall trilogy, but even that one, it's probably like the best mystery movie that we've gotten in our generation.
It's
Just a
fantastic.
traditional Sherlock Holmes kind of like yeah, cause what is it, Holmes and Watson?
Yeah.
I like how his Watson in this film is like a suspect.
Yeah, that's I think another characteristic of the third that I think the second was missing. I know when we get to the
Hmm.
second, he was working with one
Hmm.
person over the
Right.
others, but it's almost like a father child like relationship, like in a way
Yeah.
ma- yeah, I think the what you said, it's like an apprentice almost. I think that's cool. And I think they went back to that for the third film, a significantly younger person compared to him. I think that makes it more fun. I also like that from the get-go he knew she wasn't guilty just because he has that ability to see someone's you can just tell, you know. And we saw that too with family members. There were other family members that at the beginning of the film started off relatively neutral. There was an uncle who was nice to the nurse, and there was also a granddaughter who was very nice to the nurse, played by the girl from 13 Reasons Why. I'm forgetting her name. Um, she was very nice to the nurse, and we saw that throughout the film, the money corrupted them
Right.
because
Was I just remembered a scene from it that I isn't there a scene where like the teenage boy is like going into like the bathroom and he overheard something and isn't that like how he overheard something?
yeah, one of them, like the iPad kid, it like
He
stands
was
on the
like
vent, like listens to the vent through the bathroom. Yeah.
he was he was like yoinking or something when he was I
I,
think if I remember I could be tripping. But yeah, what would you rate this movie?
I would rate this movie, the first one, a 9 out of 10, closer to a 10 than an 8. What about you?
I'd give it a strong eight. I think I'd give it a strong eight.
Strong 8.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it goes up or down. Why don't you? I haven't seen Glass Onion since it came out. So it's
So
been
I just watched Glass Onion
so
for this.
you give us the refresher.
All right. Take two because hurricane style winds where my boys at. Power outage.
It's been insane. It's probably going to happen again, so fair warning. And I don't have cell service, so okay. Anyways, Glass Onion, hit it.
All right. So, setup. we are following a bunch of characters who are all, I guess, important people. I don't know if that's the right way I describe it. Important people, notable people, right? You have the cast being Daniel Craig again as Blanc. You have Edward Norton as the some of these characters. Honestly, I some of these characters' names I keep on forgetting. So we have Edward Norton.
Who plays the tech billionaire, right?
Yes, Miles Braun was the character's name.
Mm.
Then we also have Dave Bautista
Yep.
playing Duke Cody, who is a Twitch streamer. And his introduction is he's the first guy to ever hit 1 million subs on Twitch.
Yeah.
No Kai Cenat.
Nope.
Actually, does he have 1 million? I don't even know. I don't know the numbers. The Twitch numbers are either way. Kate Hudson actually is
Hmm.
playing a character, Birdie J. I believe she kind of plays like a celebrity. I got the vibe of like actress kind of a thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, but I forgot what the actual thing is. But famous celebrity. Madeline Klein plays a girl named Whiskey. She's dating Dave Bautista's character's Duke.
Right.
Um, Hugh Grant is in it. I don't remember him being in it,
Right.
but he's in it. And then we have Janelle Monáe, who plays technically two characters.
Hmm.
She plays Andy, and what's the other character? What's the sister? Andy, I believe, is the one that was I guess I'll get into it. Spoilers. But she plays, is it Helen? Either way.
Hmm.
So to get to the point. So all of them are introduced as really important people, and they're all opening up like this, like kind of like riddle-esque thing together at the same time. They're all friends, and it's like an invite to um to the island of Edward Norton's character. And Blanc gets something similar as well, like an invitation, or at least that's how it is described. So they all show up to the island. There's a funny, I found it funny because of the time frame. There's a part where since it's lockdown time, part of his motivation is really trying to find something fun to do, interesting to do, to put his detective work to work. Um,
Hmm.
it's funny, he's got like a small apartment with roommates. Blanc's character does for the world's greatest
Hmm.
detective. But he's kind of just sitting in his tub all day, got a bunch of books, and he's zooming with his friends, and they're just playing Among Us. Like actually, like Among Us is just on the screen. So that was an interesting moment to like watch now, where you're like um. But so they go to the island, everyone's greeted, and it's supposed to be like a murder mystery weekend.
Hmm.
Um, like in the murder's supposed to be fake, and it's just supposed to be like um a fun weekend, and it's going to be like a big announcement about the future of like his kind of like big company. Um, and it's also one of the people who was researching like what they're trying to go about is a scientist who is dating um Kate Hudson's character Birdie. They're together, and um yeah, he's been like researching Clear, I believe is what it's called. But he says it's going to need like 2 years of testing and this and that. And so everyone's greeted, and then Blanc's greeted. Edward Norton pulls Blanc into the room. Everything's normal, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just so jazzed to be here for your whatever." And then he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "That's cool." He's like, "But why are you here?" And essentially, it's because he wasn't invited by him. Blanc says that he was given an invitation, and so Edward Norton's character just assumes it's one of his friends, kind of like playing a little joke on him, but also like, wouldn't it be cool to have the world's greatest detective at his murder mystery weekend?
Hmm.
Um, and So he's playing along with it. They all hang out. Blanc is kind of in this extra like locked in mode and you can't really tell, at least from the viewer's perspective, if you know that something like serious is going to happen because it's a movie and you know that something's going to happen, but you don't know, at least I didn't, if Blanc's character is locked in because he literally is just like so bored that he's like really treating this seriously and he wants to figure it out. And that's his way of like having fun, or if it's because like he actually is suspicious that something bigger might happen.
Mhm.
That's the way that I took it. So you end up going through and you're seeing stuff like you're seeing potential infidelity. You're seeing some whispers here in the back, like going back and forth, like you tell him, like, or do your whatever. Um, make the statement, right? Because Birdie's Kate Hudson's character, apparently there's like a statement she wants to put out or something like that because or that she's told she should put out because apparently there was text messages about like a sweatshop somewhere and she thumbs upped it and said like sounds great. And it's because her character's so dumb that she thought a sweatshop meant like a sweatpants making shop. Right. So really stupid. Um, in a funny way. I didn't think it was like bad writing or anything like that. Like it's whatever. Um, but like Madeline Klein's character, Whiskey, she was seen like kissing and kind of like cuddling with Edward Norton and Dave Bautista's like in the bushes watching and Blanc sees this. He sees him watching, he sees them doing their thing, right? And so basically all these potential motives for like why like it's kind of built up as like these people have potential motives to harm Edward Norton's character, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of like what they're building up to. Excuse me. And then there's a dinner and Blanc and it's revealed like, like, all right, I'm gonna die by this time. And so they're at dinner and Blanc basically goes like, it's gonna be that statue with the archery with the air like the archer arrow, between all these, straight through there, and like boom. And and then Edward Norton literally just like pulls the thing and then it like fake arrow hits him and like fake blood squirts out and he's like, yay. And there's a funny part where before he says all this, like Blanc's character's like, does the winner get anything? And he's like, what do you what do you mean? And he's like, I don't know. Like I thought maybe the winner'd get like an iPad or something. And he's like, sure, sure. The person who figures it out gets an iPad. And then Blanc gets it right. And then they go up to his office and Blanc's like, ooh, that was some good stuff there, man. Like, oh, I love that, like this and blah blah blah. He's like jazzed up. And then Edward Norton just like tosses him an iPad. Blanc's like, you're upset. Like, and he's like, you just ruined all the fun. He's like, that was supposed to be a full weekend thing. I just paid like so and so. And he's like, oh, she's good. And he's like, yeah, she's expensive. Like, I paid her to come up with this whole thing. And he's pissed. And Blanc's like, there's a reason I did that. It's because someone's actually has motivation. For someone here, this is not a game. Like, they're trying to kill you. And so you go there, and then we flash it back to before the island. And the character, Andy, played by Janelle Monáe, is trying to find Blanc and knocks on his door and is like and reaches out to him and they talk. And basically the whole thing is her sister, her twin sister, or no, I don't think it was twin. No, it's just her sister. Sorry. Just her sister. Um, I skipped a part. Edward Norton's character comes back in before we flash it back, and he talks about clear, talks about the energy. And everyone is like super against it. It's not tested, especially the scientist guy. He's like, I'm out. And then Edward Norton's character's like, buddy, he's like, you're not stopping anything. Like this whole place, the glass onion, that's what the island that they're at called is the glass onion because of the way it's formed, is ran off of this stuff, off of clear. And then everyone's pissed and he's like, this is risky. And then essentially like he starts kind of convincing everybody. Dave Bautista's character is like, oh my gosh, I just look at these numbers. These numbers are crazy. Um, on his thing, he's like, dude, he's like, does this mean I can get on Alpha News, which is the news company that Edward Norton's character runs? And he's like, yeah, buddy, with these numbers like this, like absolutely. Um, they're going and they're all getting partied up. Dave Bautista's character takes a swig of a drink and just dies. So now there's a dead person there. Going through all of this, another little tidbit is that Dave Bautista's character always carries a gun. Always. Find out that his gun is for some reason not on his person right there. So fast forward a little bit through the night. Janelle Monáe's character is meeting up with Blanc. They're talking. It's all rushed. Gunshot rings out. Shoots Monáe, Andy, right in the chest. Now we flash. Now we go back. So then, so we're back there meeting, right? The characters. Her character, Janelle Monáe's character, the sister actually killed herself in um in her garage, turned the vehicle on, and although I cannot remember if it was actually suicide or if she was killed. I completely cannot remember that part actually. But she wants to get some revenge because no, she did kill herself, but her everything leading up to it was like really big. There's a big port stuff going on between like companies, and essentially she was up to hang out to dry. All the friends knew the stuff that would help her out, but they hung her out to dry. And so she's like, "Hey, I want you to go to this island and investigate." Blanc says, "You're a dead. I can't go by myself. You're a dead ringer for your sister. You get a little haircut, do a little something." And she's like, "No, no, I can't." And then so Blanc convinces her to go. Then we replay all of the events that I described before, but through a different lens, through her character's lens, and then also giving more context to scenes from Blanc's perspective about what he's actually looking at, right? And you're like extra dialogue is added, right? So like the scene with Madeline Klein kind of getting all cozy with Edward Norton's character. Originally, you think that's infidelity. It's actually Dave Bautista's idea to get her to try to convince Edward Norton's character to have him on Alpha News. Not so it was actually contrived by Dave Bautista's character for her to do that. It was not really infidelity. It was more that scene was him getting turned down by Edward Norton's character, right? I'm to find out too that gunshot, it hit the book. She had like a little she had, the diary of her sister was sitting in her like coat pocket, and it saved her. So then we go up. Blanc's character buys her some time to really like search for this envelope that has her sister's envelope that she made that basically will out everything that Edward Norton's character has done that's negative, or like why it's unsafe to do all that kind of stuff. Turns out it was actually in that main room the whole time, and then she's like, "This will bring you down." Um, and then one of the characters is like, "Why didn't you just burn it, dude? Like you're so dumb." And and then he just burns it right in front of them. Like he's just like, "Oh," presses a lighter to it. And he's like, "What do you do now?" And everyone's kind of cowering. And then she's kind of like, "Shit, like crap, like what do we do now?" And then Blanc gives her a drink because there's a little bit of drinking stuff with big metaphors and stuff like going on earlier. And it's like, I told you, like I can't turn him into the police, or I can't do any of this. I can only collect the evidence and kind of like whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? I can only figure it out, and the rest is not up to me. Like I can't make the arrest. I can't do all that. I can give you like some liquid courage, hands her a drink, and she starts bashing everything in the room, gives all the other characters the kind of like, okay, like yeah, like we can face Edward Norton's character and like a big rising. And he's like, wow, this is fun, guys. Huh? Like that's crazy. Then a fire starts. And he's like, whoa, like let's chill out, let's chill out. Like that's not safe. And then something that I don't remember what she has in her hand, but essentially I think it might be some clear, could be wrong, but throws it into the fire. And the whole thing that the scientist guy was like, this is unsafe. It's not tested enough. It's very flammable, this and that. Um, essentially is what clear is what brings him down because the entire place like essentially blows up. Nobody dies from it. Blows up. It's also revealed that Edward Norton's character had pineapple juice in his drink, and he gave Dave Bautista's character the drink, and he's allergic to pineapples, so he died. That's how he dies. Um, I'm rambling way too long on this. My gosh. Uh, but and in that place, he had the real Mona Lisa as well. That blows up, and he's like, all the evidence is blown up with you guys. Like you guys don't have anything. And they're kind of like, well, this whole place is evidence as to why clear is not, it's not, does not work. And you also just is also the cause for why the Mona Lisa is now completely destroyed. So I think you're kind of done. Um, overall, after that extremely long ramble about the plot, way too detailed. I probably should have given it way more cliff notes than that. I just recently,
There's so much to it though. There's so much to it,
yeah.
which is another reason to go
Um,
watch it. But there's so much.
yeah. So basically, I would say that I really liked the first half of the movie, the setup, the location, all that. I thought looked really good. That was acted really well. I was really intrigued. I don't know if I loved the angle that they went with afterwards because it also like it felt so much less like a who done it and more of just like in trying to uncover this guy of like what like how can we like bring this guy down because he you know what I mean? I mean like yes there was a death like right Dave Bautista did die and he did do that. But that didn't feel like the focal point of the movie was like uncovering which you could argue is just like them trying to go in a different direction, not trying to reprint same thing. But also the buddy being like it was a twist that like the character that we thought we were one of the characters we thought we were following is actually the sister of who we thought we were following. That was cool. Um, one of my favorite scenes though is like when the place is blowing up. Blanc had already left the building because he's like, my work here is done, and he's just sitting on the lawn, and you hear like a sensor going off, like this is a no smoke zone. This is a no smoke zone, and then he's just like lighting up a cigar, and he's sitting next to some dude who was like smoking weed, who was just like in the house, I guess. You saw him for one scene and he's just like lighting up next to this guy and they're just sharing like cigars. That was funny. Um, but yeah, I mean, from what you remember, like what would is there anything you'd like to add to that?
It was really interesting hearing you describe it after not having seen it for a year because I think I forgot how much I really loved the setup. And when you said that, it was like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I felt. There's a line in that movie where I don't remember specifically what it is, but you, in every movie you've got Benoit Blanc giving his grand, here's what happened. And he
Hmm.
talks for 10 minutes and he explains everything to the viewer, and in the movie he's explaining it to this group, the group you follow. And I remember when he explains Miles as the tech billionaires, what he's done, and Kate Hudson's character has a moment like something like, it's so stupid it's genius, and he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's just dumb. No, it was not well thought out at all. He's just an evil greedy guy who killed people. And that to me was my least favorite part of the film. I thought the first movie had done such a good job with its villain. The villain was smart and he was complex. He hated his family, but he especially hated his grandfather. He'd felt cheated. He felt like this no-name nurse comes in and gets his inheritance that he's entitled to, and so he's got to do everything in his power to keep it. And I bought it. When this tech billionaire goes to the lengths of like straight up murdering someone. I maybe I could be wrong, but did he have like a murderous track record? No, I know that Clear. I know that Clear was dangerous, and the whole thing was we're gonna lie that something that isn't dangerous is, and it's like we see corporations do that all the time. Um, but yeah, I just remember when I found out Miles was the villain, kind of like you said. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
me.
yeah, that makes the most sense. That's what's been pointed to, and it is just dumb. Yeah, it's kind of just dumb. So when you've got your main detective saying this whole case is just dumb, what you did is dumb, the audience you kind of feel the same way.
Hmm.
So I thought it didn't stick the landing, but it's a long movie. I believe all three of them are either close to or over 2 hours, and I still really enjoyed myself. Just because the last 30 minutes
Oh,
aren't where I'd take it, I still really enjoyed it.
okay. I completely forgot this part. So Miles did kill the sister. He did kill her.
Right, 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 right,
He
right, right.
did. He set that up.
Right.
And the reason why I forgot about this, I don't know how I forgot about this, but Dave Bautista's character was on his motorcycle
Right. I remember that.
and
Yep.
almost got pancaked by him and saw him leaving scene. Right.
Right. And I
Okay.
forget, how did he do that? What did he do? I don't remember.
No, I know what it was. Okay, so he goes in, he sets it up and he kills her, right?
He fatally overdosed her after learning she had the
Right.
napkin. Duke
Right.
saw him leaving, which
And
is why he
and
also had to kill Duke.
but he was okay, yeah, because in the beginning of the film, what they do is they're like she's like, none of you ever stepped, and he's like, I went to your place and you weren't there
Right.
because nobody was answering the door,
Right.
right? Nobody discovered that she had been dead because it was not reported that she had died yet,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And so Miles was like, since he knew that Dave Bautista knew that he had been there, once it gets out that she died, like he's gotta find a way to get rid of anybody who knows that
Yep.
he was there.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, he is the he his motive makes more sense now that I remember. Yeah. So what's your rating?
I'm gonna give it a soft six,
Mm.
slightly above average.
Yeah, I would probably give it a 7, closer to a 6. Yeah. I still thought it was well done. I thought it was well
But the setting
shot.
was great.
I
I thought
like
the
the
setting was
score.
great. The acting was great. I thought one of the funniest things, because this parlays into three, is they had a Jeremy Renner hot sauce.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They had like a Jeremy Renner hot sauce, and then leading into the third movie, Jeremy Renner stars in this film as
Not as Jeremy Renner.
not
Yeah.
as Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Leading,
remember that was some like there's talk online about that. Yeah.
yeah, no,
Um
I thought that was pretty funny. So leading into three, do you want to describe three?
yeah, three of the three has the highest budget, over $200 million, which is crazy. This one's on Netflix as well, like the second one. I saw it right away on Netflix because my wife and I are big fans of the series. Um, in the third film, you follow a young priest who has been assigned to a, a rural mountainous community where you've got this Catholic church that's dying. And even though a lot of people don't go to this church to worship, you have a core group of 6 people that monetarily support the church because they worship the pastor. So you've got the old pastor who's worshiped, you've got the young pastor coming in, and right away there's tension, and eventually that tension leads to the death of the senior pastor, which his followers are at first very upset about this. And a lot of people blame the young guy. Young guy comes in, he wanted to take his place, he kills him. Um, obviously the name of the film being Wake Up Dead Man implies that someone might come back from the dead. And so at about the halfway point of the film, a big twist happens, and we see through a video camera that the priest, the head father, does come back to life, uh, which which throws this whole thing in even more chaos because you've got his followers who are, oh my goodness, like Jesus, he's come back from the dead. And so Benoit Blanc shows up. Benoit Blanc shows up to help the young priest prove that he's innocent. He didn't take this, he didn't try and take the throne, and also prove that dead people don't come back to life. That's not true. And so what I loved about this film was the faith aspect. You had three different forms of faith actually. The first being the senior pastor who believed in law. He would give a lot of sermons. If there was a gay couple in, he'd start preaching about homosexuality. If there's a single mother in, he'd start um, preaching about like intimacy outside of wedlock and stuff like that. And he would chase people away, which would scare his core group. And you start to learn that this core group, it's not that they really respected him, it's that they were afraid of him. And that's why they worshiped him so much. Then you got this second form of faith, which is Daniel Craig's claims that, he has no faith at all. He believes in what's real. He believes in what's powerful or he believes in what's really believes in the truth, and the truth is what's most powerful. There's a really fun scene where the young pastor asks Benoit Blanc what he thinks of the church, and he is like, "What do I honestly think?" And he just starts trashing it. He starts trashing it, calling it a facade. And then you've got this final version of faith, which I loved and I related to, and it's the main character. And it's that he believes we're stewards of Christ. And regardless of a person's past, what they've done, it's your job as a minister to reach out to them and to show them God's love and to guide them and care for them. And there was so much tension in this church because the young pastor came and noticed that's not what was happening. And so I believe there's a scene too where he says, the truth is I didn't kill him, but I wanted him to die. I wanted that old pastor to die because what he was doing to this town was toxic and horrible. Anywho, um,
Yeah,
if
he's got a big internal fight with with that kind of stuff. I like that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, continue.
no, yeah, um, and so spoiler alert, it turns out that the person the person behind it all, um, well, there's a whole nother part to it that I didn't even get into because I'm just giving a short synopsis, but. Um, Yeah, I don't even. I guess we'll see where the conversation takes us. I don't know if the conversation needs to really spoil it, but there was this head senior pastor had a daughter who had a, correct me if I'm wrong, a child out of marriage, and he saw her as like he would call her like a whore and stuff like that. And
The Scarlet Whore.
yeah, and at first she was at the beginning of the film she was painted by the churchgoers as this evil one who tried to steal her father's inheritance. Oh no, this is grandfather, right? Because isn't the head priest the son of her? See, okay, this is okay.
No, I think she
This
had a daughter. She had a daughter, and that was the caretaker,
yeah,
I
definitely go
think.
watch it. Definitely go watch it for sure because it's on Netflix right now and it's good. But there is a
Oh yeah,
treasure element.
spoilers
There's
coming
a
in.
treasure element to this as well. There is a very there's a prized possession that is included in these deaths. And when the head pastor dies, Benoit Blanc realizes it may be more than just killing a man who was an evil pastor. This treasure is involved too. So I don't know. I think of the three, this one was I don't know. The first one was pretty straightforward actually. Yeah, this one I think is middle of the road. I think Glass Onion is pretty. What do you think? You saw Glass Onion. Which one do you think is the most complex? Do you think this is the most complex, the second one? And to that also, what's your just overall thoughts of the third one? Anything I missed you want to add?
Well, I really liked that the reason that he joined priesthood was because he was a fighter. He was a boxer or
Mm,
fighter or something, and he killed a man in a ring. And it was obviously he wasn't charged for it. It was fighting as an accident, but he said that he wanted to kill him.
yep, that's what it was.
And
Maybe
that
I was
and that
mixing it
and
up.
and and so therefore he was like he didn't like that he wanted to.
Right, right,
And
right.
so in kind of like a way to like kind of repent in a way, like I don't know. He decided to join the church, become a priest. Um, and then the reason he was sent to the church is because he decked like a really crappy priest. And even the guy who
Right,
sent him there, he's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. We all hate that guy."
right.
And honestly, I think everybody's pretty happy that you did it, but it's just kind of like we need to send a message. Like we can't, like you can't do that. We're happy you did. Nobody's mad at you. But
Hmm.
so he kind of gets like a promotion. It's like a fake promotion where it's like on paper it technically is because he's like the second in like head of like this church. But because everybody knows that this guy's like bad news, it's like
Hmm.
deal with it.
Yeah.
Um, and essentially like he also this priest is fighting he's kind of like I think you could say like he's fighting his own sin of like anger and aggression
Hmm.
because like there's another time where he slaps the head caretaker what would her title be?
Right. I don't know. She may be a deaconess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's
She
revealed
might
that
just be like the church secretary. I don't know.
essentially that's what she does. She takes care of everything under the sun that's not being a priest, right? All the
Right.
books, all the finances, everything.
Bookkeeping.
Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it where he's kind of fighting himself. And then the other part I really liked, the one of my favorite scenes was he's going through it Blanc. They're playing like Holmes and Watson style, trying to figure out who did it. Um, and then he calls this place because it's like a more the people to dig up like the kind of like the morgue or whatever it's called to get records about when that happened because apparently it only gets lifted up when someone's dead and somebody had called for that
Mm.
before he died.
Right.
So that was suspicious. So they were trying to get records of who did that when like and everything. And then there's a scene where she's like, "Hold up, Pastor," and he's like, this is very time. This is very serious. Like, come on, like let's go, chop, 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 chop." And she's like, "Wait, wait," and she's like, "Can you pray for me?"
Hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, of course." And they pray. I think it's her mom that's sick or something like that. And he kind of takes a moment where he sits there and listens to her and like
Yeah.
prays for her.
Yeah.
And he kind of has this moment of realization where he's like, I'm out to Blanc.
Yeah.
Like I'm out. And he's like, What? What do you mean? And he's like, doing all of this? He's like, I've lost like why I joined priesthood in the first place.
Hmm.
And so he kind of sits there, and it was kind of like a moment where I think the actor was just fantastic in this film in general. The actor did such a good job.
Yeah.
Um,
Josh O'Connor.
hmm
I haven't seen him yet, and he was fantastic. So
Yeah, what other stuff has he been in? I loved him. That was great.
he's been in Challengers, which I
Haven't
did
seen
not
that.
see. Me neither. And other than that, I don't see any.
Well, that's the
uh,
Zendaya movie, right? That's the
He's,
one where everybody was
yeah,
memeing on.
he's been in a lot, and they have incredibly high ratings. But I haven't seen anything besides this
Bro,
one. He was fantastic. He was
Challengers
fantastic.
and Sinners combo watch next week. Oh man. Two yeah. Anyway, but yeah, no, I thought it was really good and I thought that it again spoilers, it like climax perfectly because Blanc is coming through, he's explaining everything that happens, he's going through, he's doing his thing that he's done all the movies, and then he gets to it and he goes, I can't I
Hmm.
can't say what happened. And you're kind of like, what are you talking about? And you let do you want to say who did it?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, like what I think it's Martha, right? That's her name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she did it because she saw how evil he was, and he was, and the reason that everything happened, like he's the person who called up to dig up the morgue, not her, but because he wanted to get the jewel that you mentioned before,
Yeah.
because he figured it had to be in him, and so to protect that and to protect that legacy, um, she killed him. So how evil he was, how all of that. And and so the end of the movie is her because she has not accepted this guy at all throughout the whole movie, at least at face value.
Hmm.
I feel like it's kind of semi like she probably like undertones like actually respected him, but like she just couldn't show it because she had to put up this front. But she finally kind of accepts him, and Blanc's like, hey, because he's confused, but Blanc's like, hey, I think it's time you do your job now.
Yeah.
And he hears her and she repents her sins to her priest. And I thought that was such a wonderful decision to instead of
Hmm.
have Blanc do it a third time, go ahead and listen to her confess, be her
Yeah.
priest. And I was like, that is such a like such a good decision.
Hmm.
Um, I thought it was done perfectly personally. Like that portion of the movie. I thought it was my favorite reveal scene of the three.
Yeah. Plot wise, it's to me this one was the least complex, and when they broke everything down, I had no complaints. I was like, "Yep, that all checks out." But emotionally, this one is emotionally complex, and what I loved about that scene is it showed that all three faiths, no faith, the law, and the gospel, which one, you know, could move a killer to confess. And it wasn't the law, and it wasn't there is no God. It was there is a loving God who still cares about you, even though you've done something heinous. And he commands you to repent. And he also tells you that he'll forgive you and he forgives you and he loves you. I mean, obviously, there will still be consequences and she's arrested accordingly. But
Right.
I thought that was so cool because that also, you know, Benoit Blanc, like you said, the past two movies, he's the one who, all right, guys, the truth shall be revealed. Here I go. He didn't do that. So I think even in a way it even challenged him because he's like, I might not believe in this, but there's something there. You know what I mean?
He
Because
respects it.
because if he would have
He ends up respecting it. Yeah.
if he would have come at her and been like, you did this, you are the killer, who knows what would have happened? She might still have denied it. And they really did need a confession because this crime was this crime was well thought out and it
And
was
everybody came together on it too. It wasn't just her. Like people, like she got
yeah,
help from Jeremy Renner's character, from
yeah,
the guardian, the handyman around the
yeah,
place because he's in love. Yeah. And so it was a multi-person thing. It wasn't just her. Um,
yeah.
and I really liked too because I think part of killing him, if I remember right, was like poisoning him in his flask or whatever.
Hmm.
But the thing was, is that the gardener or like the handyman, he quit the booze because he said if the priest could do it, then he could do it, right?
Right, right.
And so what I liked too was even though it incriminated him more, the priest, the good priest, he hid the flask, hid some of the like evidence that
Yeah,
that's how he died, and didn't even tell Blanc about it. And Blanc like was like, "You're an idiot. What are
yeah,
you doing?"
yeah,
Simply because he wanted to protect what he called the only good man there. He
yeah,
hated everybody there except for him, and he did not want to ruin what gave him strength to be a better person and to
yeah,
be able to get like keep off the alcohol.
yeah.
He did something hurting himself in order to help someone else. And I thought that was pretty cool too. I give this one, I think this one some I'll just give my overall rating, I guess. I think I give this one like an 8.5. I
Yeah.
think I like it better than the first one slightly.
I like it just as much. I'm going to give it a 9, closer to a 10. I think it could be a 10 on a rewatch. The only character I just didn't care much for, and this has nothing to do with politics, was just it doesn't even matter his affiliation. There was a politician who was kind of rejected and was forced to move back home. And I think that part of his character, um, to me,
Bro, I don't even remember
it,
that character, bro.
yeah, he was the old priest's biological son. That
Oh, the influencer guy.
yeah, yeah. The
Such a
influence
forgettable character, bro. Such a
yeah,
forgettable character.
I thought that it's kind of cool to have somebody following around with the camera all the time. So I was like, ooh, maybe that's going to play into like evidence. But it actually didn't. What it played into was he had recorded an interaction, which didn't really make sense to me because are you telling me that the he was recording an interaction from like 30 feet away from behind a corner and the audio was perfect and he posted it online? And it's when the young pastor and the old pastor were beefing. So then when the old pastor died, that's what incriminated the young pastor to the police. That's why they thought he had the most
Right,
probable cause. That
right.
to me was that to me was a little forced, but I really loved the idea of this man being worshipped so much that he had a child out of wedlock and somebody took in the child in his close group of people who are afraid of him because they're so afraid of him and they raised the child for him. I thought that was such a cool part to his character, and the whole influencer thing to me was just kind of I don't know. Ryan Johnson, especially the second film, there's a lot of dumb, but it works in a way. It might not work in the end. For some people it does, for some people it didn't. This movie was not like that. This movie was way more mature and like I said, emotionally complex. So to have that one dumb character who like would have fit into like the second film perfectly, to have him in
Oh
this
yeah.
one,
Because
to
they
have him
kind of
in
had
this
that
one,
character as
right,
Dave Bautista, outside of the fact that Bautista doesn't he doesn't
right. Right.
I thought
And
I
like
also it
the whole
was
influencer thing, I was like, why couldn't he just be like a news reporter or something or somebody who's like investigating and I don't know. I also thought like anyways, this is where you could start to rewrite the film and I don't need to do that. I give it a, I don't it's not a perfect film to me because of that. I think I think though it could become my favorite, but right now it's tied for first. So, yeah.
yeah, I do think that what I do like is that I do think he's done a good job of through the three films. There aren't very many characters that feel like carbon copies in terms of like tropiness of each
Right.
other between the three
Right.
films. They all do feel pretty unique in their own way. Like even like you could even talk about the Sun and Ransom 1 and 3, similar archetypes of characters, different, but like Sun, like that, like that whole shtick, but they're completely different
Hmm.
characters in terms of like personality and everything. So yeah, I think overall I like the thing is I mean it's probably the best modern mystery franchise that we have right now.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think it's a fantastic trilogy, and I hope he keeps making them. I love that he uses Agatha Christie as inspiration because I do really like her books, and even the books that, dang it, dude. Sorry. Even the books that the ending I'm not so big on. There's been a couple of those. I still love the story, and I'm like, yeah, just because I don't think that the killer is like and the funny thing is about that too. Whenever it reveals the killer, like in the second movie, I thought, I don't know if I like that. But then I think about all the other options, and I'm like, I probably would feel the same way. There's just something about there's, I don't know. I thought the third one, finding out who the killer was to be that secretary, it wasn't surprising. You're like, yeah, that actually checks out. That's been her character's motivation. Like, it totally makes sense for her for this character. Um, I guess I was the least surprised but I thought it was the best reveal of the three. So,
I'm trying to
anyways.
think. I feel like in terms of like ending and character, I feel like how it was done, how it was done was like the most complex in the third one to me, like how they went about it, right? Thought that was
Mhm.
right, like where it was multiple characters banding together, even though only one went down for it, right?
Mhm.
I think who did it, the first one to me seemed the toughest, and then Glass Onion was like really like I don't think they were really trying to hide it.
Mhm.
like the mystery came in different ways with that one, right? Like, oh, like that sister, that's actually not her, and then like the why.
Hmm.
Um, third one was kind of like how.
Hmm.
I was kind of stumped on like how they did it. Um, I was pretty convinced it was her, and then like I was like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's like the obvious choice, but like it wasn't that surprising when it was her. But yeah, no, I thought it's a good franchise.
Hmm.
Glad I watched it. Any final
Yeah.
thoughts outside of that?
Sounds like he's gonna make another one. He's got some ideas, he said. So,
All right, it's not going to
um,
be just a trilogy anymore. It's going to be a whole thing.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I like
see.
Daniel, and I like Daniel Craig. These are the only movies I've ever seen him in outside of his like cameo in Star Wars, where he was a stormtrooper.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he's a stormtrooper.
What are you gonna do for, or sorry, go ahead.
I think it was like when Ray like uses like the Force on some stormtroopers to like get him to like do like go somewhere else.
Hmm.
Like these are not the droids you're looking for, but like Ray does it.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that's like Daniel Craig in
Oh,
there.
that's funny. I'm looking that
Yeah.
up right now. That's funny. Cool.
I think that the modern Star Wars franchise, I'm pretty sure, has like a bunch of different random cameos where other famous people are stormtroopers just
Hmm.
so that they can say they've been in the Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Franchise. But I remember that. But yeah. So
What's
what am
next
I?
on the docket?
Well, I've seen Shaun of the Dead, and I just need to see Running Man, and I've seen Wicked 1, and I need to see Wicked 2. So I'm thinking one of
Yeah,
those
well,
combos.
I
Running
heard
Man, I
run
think I can. What was that?
I heard Running Man is not good, but we can still watch it.
I heard
Compare it
that
to
it
the old
was
one.
my coworker watched Running Man, and she had good things to say about it. Yeah,
My
is that a remake of a different movie? When I was looking it up, there's another one.
I don't know. No, it looks like there's another show called Running Man, but it's not the same thing. So,
Mm, okay.
well, let's do that. Let's watch Running Man. We'll find out. We'll find out what we think. Awesome, homie.
Okay. Well,
Sick, bruh.
end of
So,
episode 2.
viewers,
What, like
sorry.
a month later?
Yes, and let's record the next
Life's been
one.
life's been crazy. Like a week from today.
Yeah, let's do next Saturday or Sunday. Cool, bruh.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
See you guys.
That's episode 2.